Okay, we're going through Holy Grail of Wisdom quotes by me, Pete Rogers, alphabetical order. First is Edna St. Vincent Millay. She was a playwright and a poet, an American. She said that it's not true that life is one damn thing after another. It's the same damn thing over and over. There's a lot of truth in that, especially for our jobs, because often you're paid to do something that's rather tedious, like an assembly line, and you just have to crank it out. And they don't pay you because it's fun. They pay you because it's work. The stuff that's fun, usually you don't get paid for it. Okay, Arthur Miller, he lived from 1915 to 2005. He's an American playwright. He said, no one wants the truth if it's inconvenient. Yeah, and you've got that intellectual sense that if it's an inconvenient truth, you don't say it unless you have to, Sometimes you got to tell them the truth for their own good, but sometimes just let it go. Okay, Arthur Miller, the best work that anybody writes is always on the verge of embarrassing him. There's truth in that. Like I said, when I'm writing, you get a feeling. This is funny, this is good, this is clever, this is insightful, this is pushing the edge. And if you don't push the edge, you suck. So you have to push the edge. But if you push the edge too far, you can fuck up. You could screw up. So you have to, it's a judgment call. But if you're writing well, you're going to be on the edge. There's no way around that. Otherwise, you're a lightweight, okay? All right, Donalyn Miller, 6th grade teacher, best 6th grade teacher in the whole USA. She's the one who noticed that the kids stink at reading and they don't want to read, and everybody hates being forced to read, 2 or 3 books for the whole year as a group. It's an obligation imposed upon them, and everybody fakes it, cheats, does, ChatGPT or AI of some sort nowadays. So anyways, what did she do? She just said, I want these kids to read. She put a bunch of books in the center of the room and had a bunch of bookshelves around her 6th grade classroom. Her kids were reading an average. This right here says 62 books a year. I thought it was 42 books a year. But either way, her kids read far more than anyone else in the whole school because they got to choose a book. When you choose the book yourself, instead of being an imposed obligation, it's a pleasure. It's a prediction. It's an adventure. You predict the book's going to be, what it's going to be about, and then you read it and you find out. So anyways, her kids were just superior at everything in school. They just dominated everything in school. They crushed their standardized tests. They're good at every subject. And that's kind of how it goes. Because then you choose to self-educate. To self-educate's a pleasure. To have to memorize a bunch of worthless, meaningless stuff and waste your time like typical grade school and high school, that's an imposition. That sucks. Okay, so anyways, here's some quotes that she made. Students need to make their own choices about what to read and write. Reading changes your life. Reading unlocks your world. Reading helps you escape the confines of school and pursue your own education. Through the characters, saints and sinners, reading shows you how to be a better human being. Students will read if we give them books, the time, and the enthusiastic encouragement to do so. And I think that's actually true. I mean, you want to see how to be a good person? Read Brothers Karamazov and look at how Alyosha chose to live and compared with Ivan the intellectual who became an atheist and degenerated from that. Smerdyakov, who was resentful, degenerated from that. Dmitri, who was a hothead, getting into fights and getting himself into trouble, degenerated from that and drinking. Okay? Look at Les Miserables, how Jean Valjean got a chance to turn his life around, how the bishop was so good, forgave Jean Valjean and helped him, okay? That's real life. Let's see, what else? Those are like the great books. Christmas Carol, look how Scrooge, how happy he was when he turned himself around. Okay, to keep our students reading, we have to let them choose the books, okay? And you have to give them time to read. You can't just waste their time with stupid homework or other stupid class assignments. She would just let the kids read in class. She said, okay, today's a reading day, just read in class. Nothing else to do, just to read. Exposing students to lots of books and positive reading experiences while building a network of other readers who support each other provides students with the tools that last beyond the classroom setting. Yeah, she's empowering them to enjoy reading, to talk to the other students about the books. Readers enjoy talking about books almost as much as they do reading. Students need to feel that they are a part of a community of readers and writers. Yeah, that was I think one of the best things my father ever did for me. He was reading all the time, and he was my role model, so it just became natural for me to read a lot. And that has helped me a lot. When you're lonely, you can always read. So the book is always there. Students need to make their own choices about reading material and writing topics. The most beneficial thing in class was reading, just letting them read. Give the kids 30 or 40 minutes to read a book in class, and they will want to bring it home to finish it. Hands down, the students who read the most are the best at everything in school. Yep. I actually think that's how I made such a big comeback in school. Was I just like reading, even though I hated school. I like reading on my own. So despite not really applying myself to high school and grade school and high school, because I was always reading, I think I had sustained pretty good vocabulary and all that stuff. So anyways, that's it for the part one of the Miller quotes. I got a whole bunch of other Millers. I'll do them in the next set here.